Hello, welcome back, my fine feathered freaks. I don't know where I was going with that. Welcome back to my world of stuff. Yes, I know I've been neglecting my Doctor Who fanboy duties over the last few weeks. It's been quite a while since my last Doctor Who video. That will change. There are videos to come, which I won't talk about at the moment, but there should be a couple more by the end of the week. However, there's one today as well, because Mr. Postman has been today. He has delivered for me two things. I've got two Doctor Who related things to open up for you today. And I've got one to show you, which I can see from here, but I'm not going to show you now, which I will reveal at the end of the video. One of these things, obviously, is the new Doctor Who Blu-ray box set, season 25. And I will do, as is tradition, I'll do my unboxing and displaying and showing you what the discs are like. Now, I realise that these sets are the same sort of formula and format for each one, but I think it's nice, and I think that people appreciate having a look at them before theirs arrive. And I think a lot of people have had theirs already. Theirs arrived on Saturday. It's now Monday. Various reasons I'm a little bit late for doing this video. I had planned to do it early this morning, but I had a bit of a crisis of my own making. I'll tell you about it, actually. I lost the key to the cinema room. Stupidly, I don't know where it went. I have an idea where it went. I went out yesterday in the car to do a few bits and pieces, run a few errands. Took some stuff out of the cinema room, and instead of putting the key back where it should be, I just shoved it in my pocket where it got tangled up with my car keys. And I suspect that when I was out and about yesterday, putting my keys in and out, the cinema room key disappeared somewhere. So basically, I had to get a locksmith in this afternoon to fit a new lock. I've done that for you. Right, let's unbox. There we are, welcome back, I'm Paul Mount, etc. Right, let's get these things open. Here's the first one. This is the first one, come from Mr. HMV. As I said, some people had this on Saturday, which is fine, good luck to them. Mine's come today, and that's the main thing. So let's open this baby up, and as I said, I will show you the box. And I know you'll have seen it already, you've seen pictures and stuff, but I'll try to do it better than everybody else. Here we are. There it is, Doctor Who season 25. Sylvester McCoy's second season of Doctor Who. The Doctor, I should say. As I may have mentioned before on this channel, I'm not the world's biggest Sylvester McCoy fan. I didn't really enjoy that era. And that was because as a long-term fan who'd been watching the show since the 60s, I could see the sort of dip in quality and the dip in care in the making of the show. So I wasn't a big fan at this time, and I was a lot of the time in despair watching Doctor Who. This season, however, is Sylvester McCoy's best season, the most consistently entertaining run of episodes, because there's a classic Dalek story, there's a Cyberman story, and then a couple of oddities, second and fourth in the season. I particularly like Greatest Show in the Galaxy, the last one in the set, the last decent classic Doctor Who story, in my opinion, because Sylvester's last season, I think, was a bit of a mess of stories written by inexperienced writers, and it showed because the structures were all over the place. So I don't really rate his last season. This, however, is a decent season, and I will say, in relation to Sylvester McCoy generally, in the intervening years, I've come to appreciate his era of the show a bit more, because I've become aware of what was going on behind the scenes a bit more, and how the script editor Andrew Cartmel was trying to sort of pull the series back in line by making the Doctor a bit mysterious and adding things that would make the series a bit more interesting for long-term fans. Problem, I think, was the casting couldn't really carry that off. But anyway, I won't go any further on that. Let's have a look at season 25. So there it is, season 25. I'll get this other box out of the way for the moment. Put that down here somewhere. Oh, put it over there. Anyway, there's season 25 in all its glory. Apologies for the light coming in. Hopefully I won't spoil it too much for you. As usual, it's wrapped up in the cellophane, so we'll get the old scissors out to remove the cellophane, and then I will be able to show you, but just briefly, because as I said, the format of these sets has been the same since the beginning. The consistency is excellent, of course. Let's get rid of that. So there it is, season 25. It consists of 4 serials: Remembrance of the Daleks, The Happiness Patrol, the Silver Nemesis 25th anniversary story, and the Greatest Show in the Galaxy. And as usual, it comes, well, I'll show you the back. There's the back with the details of all the special features. Nice piece of artwork of the Doctor and Ace there. And of course, on the cover, we have Sylvester McCoy as the Doctor. We have, as is tradition, the monsters and aliens featured in the season. On the side, we have again the Doctor Who, still using the Chris Chibnall era logo, which is a bit odd, but again, consistency. I don't see any reason to change it. And we've got the usual J card, which is, that comes off quite easily, he said, having trouble taking it off. There it is. On the back, very nice piece of artwork of the Doctor in the Vortex. And up there we have I think that's the robot postal delivery thing from Greatest Show in the Galaxy that delivers the invitation to the psychic circus to the Tardis. So there it is, nice piece of artwork there. All the usual bump there. So let's open it up, and there we have it. There we have the set as usual with the discs in the trays on one side. The very nice opening sort of thingy there, which has a very nice piece of artwork again of the Doctor and Ace outside the TARDIS in a sort of purple hue, which gives it a nice sort of atmosphere, which often over brightly lit TV episodes didn't always have. Open that up, and there you get another nice piece of artwork, the Doctor and Ace with a catapult. That opens up. Inside we get, I'll show you that in a moment, that's the usual bumpy bits of stuff about other merchandise. And there we have a very nice piece of artwork of the interior of the TARDIS. Not that it was shown very much in this year. I think we only see it in one episode in this season. I think we see it in the first episode of The Greatest Show in the Galaxy, because at the time they were just moving away from doing lots of TARDIS scenes and things. And there's the booklet. Once again, it's 32-page fully illustrated booklet that has lovely pieces of art, photographs, information about each of the episodes. These booklets are very much a very specific and very full reference to Doctor Who, and it might be quite nice at some point maybe to pull them all out and store them individually, although I don't know that my fan gene will allow me to do that. Yeah, so that's the booklet, which looks very nice. That slots back in there along with the Bumpy booklet, which I'll put there. And to the discs themselves, of course, well, it's the usual arrangement that we get with these sets. The first disc is with a nice piece of art of the Doctor and Ace in Remembrance of the Daleks, which is a great Dalek story. I'm going to go as far as to say that's the best Dalek story since 1975's Genesis of the Daleks. A really good, solid, powerful story. And I remember watching this on TV and giving a silent cheer after the first episode, because I hadn't enjoyed the previous season, and I sort of felt, wow, that's better, Doctor Who's back. Wasn't the last, unfortunately, but there we are. Then we have the second disc, which has a very nice piece of artwork of the Special Weapons Dalek. It's the second disc of that particular story. Then we have the Happiness Patrol. This is the one that famously features the Candy Man, or Bertie Bassett, which led to the BBC promising never to show the story again on TV, but hasn't stopped them releasing it on physical media, of course, over the years. Second disc for that story with Sheila Hancock as the guest star, Helen A. Then we have Silver Nemesis, disc 1. Cyberman with his sausage fingers there. Lady Painfort, who's the sort of pantomime villain of the story. Then we have The Greatest Show in the Galaxy, disc 1. In fact, I think that's just on one disc. And then we have the final disc, which has, I would imagine, lots of special features on it. The Greatest Show in the Galaxy bonus features. So yeah, every story has 2 discs, as the set says. There are 8 discs, so it's 2 discs per story, and the special features are liberally spread amongst them. So that's season 25. As I said, many of you may well have picked it up today or had it delivered over the weekend or today. But for those of you who haven't and are awaiting it, that's what it looks like. It's good, isn't it? So there we are. Yeah, it's a very nice box set. And as I showed you there, the special features, the USP for me, I just noticed there's a little tear at the top of my box, but I'm not one to worry too much about stuff like that. The USP of these sets for me is always the new special features. And yeah, as we know, the BBC or restoration team or whoever go to above and beyond putting great new stuff on these DVDs, these Blu-rays. If it was just sort of upscaled versions that we've had before. I probably wouldn't buy them, but I'm always fascinated by the new material, and there's always interesting stuff on these discs. And in here we have exclusive special editions of all stories, untransmitted scenes, updated special effects, and for those with the equipment, 5.1 surround sound. So all the stories have new special effects. Bearing in mind that this is the late 80s and the special effects, I suppose, were British TV state of the art at the time. I hope that they've been updated sympathetically, because sometimes in the previous box sets where they've updated the visual effects, I found that they jar a little bit with what was on screen. So I hope that they've tried to keep them in the style of the story. So it'll be interesting to see what they've done with those. There are also 3 in-conversation specials. They're always highlights of these sets. Matthew Sweet, who discusses actors and producers and so on, people who've been involved in Doctor Who, discusses their careers. Here he talks to Sophie Aldred, of course, who plays Ace. He talks to Andrew Cartmel, the script editor. It'll be interesting because he'll probably give a bit more detail about his sort of rearguard efforts to try and rehabilitate Doctor Who. And Chris Clough, the director of 5 stories, and now incidentally a leading figure in the TV industry. I believe he was the producer of the Mr. Bates versus the Post Office drama that was on ITV earlier this year. He is quite a well-regarded producer in, as it says, in TV circles. I think he produced a bill for a while. We also have, behind the sofa, 4 new episodes with an all-star lineup of classic Doctor Who guests. I found those a little bit disposable, really, because these are people who worked on Doctor Who. They did a job on Doctor Who years ago. They don't remember a lot about it, and they're only shown truncated versions of the stories anyway. They don't sit down and watch the entire episodes. But it's quite fun watching them, talk about people they've worked with and talk about their opinions of the stories they're watching. So they're once watched things, I always find. Then we have The Making of Silver Nemesis. This is interesting. This is a 1988 documentary made in America. An American film crew for HBO and cable channel came over to the UK to watch Doctor Who being produced, and that's only ever been released on VHS in the UK. I think somewhere in my archives I have the old Silver Nemesis VHS release that has that documentary on it. Be nice to see it again. There's a VHS version of the story as it was presented when it was released on VHS, so effectively it's that VHS release represented. Looking for Dursley, this will be interesting. This is the profile of actor Dursley McClendon, who's the guest star in Remembrance of the Daleks. He passed away at an early age. Then there's exclusive archive treats, previously unavailable content from the archive, studio location footage, music score, blah blah. So there's lots of bits and pieces on here. It's the new stuff that I will go to first. And later in the week, I will put up a video reviewing the season. At the moment, I'm just sort of unboxing it and bigging it up for you. But I will watch the special features and talk about it later this week. That's season 25 of Doctor Who on Blu-ray, out now. Right, here's the other thing what I received, the other box what I got, which I think, there are a couple of things I'm waiting for, but I think this is another Doctor Who thing. And if it is, it'll be quite interesting to see how it presents, because, excuse the camera wobbling. Yes, right. This is what I thought it was. I was a big fan, as you might notice, you might have seen some of them in the background, like got shelves full of them in the house, of the Eagle Moss Doctor Who figurines. I don't call them figures or action figures because I always regarded them as figurines. And I much prefer them to the sort of segmented figures that character options do. Good as they are, they look like toys, but the figurines look like figurines and collectibles, display statuette things. Eagle Moss, of course, went out of business a couple of years ago. A company called Master Replicas took up where Eagle Moss have left off. They got hold of a lot of the stock that was sort of in transit, and they've sold that off, and they've got lots of old stuff still available. But they're also now manufacturing some new stuff. This stuff has been out for pre-order for months, and I sort of despaired of ever getting some of it. And I know that they're doing stuff like there's a Dalek flying saucer coming out quite soon. And once I know that it's out there and people are getting it, I might order it. I couldn't resist ordering this, and it looks lovely, actually. I'm very pleased with it, looking at it. I don't know if it's to scale with the Eagle Moss figurines, but here we are. Anyway, there we are. It's the First Doctor's Tardis. You might say, well, it's just a police box. You've got loads of figures of those, and I have. But the William Hartnell Tardis was slightly different. The ones we get these days are squatter and wider. I always like the slightly skinnier version of the William Hartnell one that you see there in its box. It's really very nice. And in fact, I am going to open it. I was going to leave it in this box, but I've decided I want to open it and show it to you properly. So let's tear away at this, as they always do, or used to do on Blue Peter. Let's get it out. It's not one I made earlier. Here we are. Okay, there it is. Oh yes, that's nice. Yeah, that's nice. I think it's plastic, but it's solid. There we are, the William Hartnell Tardis. As I said, it is. Yeah, I'm very pleased with that figure. Actually, didn't think it would be quite that nice, having heard all the people complaining about these things taking so long to come out. But I think these have been stuck in transit as well. But yeah, that's a really nice piece. It's got the label on it, the police box label, not brilliantly pasted on there, as you'll see, but it looks very nice. Colours are nice. It's got the stacked roof, the light. Yeah, I'm very pleased with that. So that's available now from Master Replicas. They're finally shipping it. So if you were worried, like I was, about ordering this, I mean, I ordered this back in May, I think, and was beginning to despair of ever getting it. In fact, a couple of months ago I was going to cancel it, but I'm glad I didn't, because it's here and it's really rather nice. It's the William Hartnell Tardis from Master Replicas. Lovely. Right, and finally, the extra special treat I've got for you, probably not much of a treat because many of you may already have it, the B&M character options figures. There's a new wave of releases, a wave of 2 that is, and I picked one of them up last week. I think there's 2 Daleks from Resurrection of the Daleks, which I haven't picked up yet because, much as I like the Daleks, I've got a lot of them. But I quite like this one. This is quite cheap. It's only $12.99. This is Davros, Emperor Dalek, in remembrance of the Dalek, of course, Daleks, which of course is on the season 25 set. So yeah, that's a nice little figure. I haven't taken it out yet. I don't know if I will, but I do like this sort of thing because it hasn't got the articulation that the human figures have, which puts me off him a bit. This is sort of Davros, and I think he's got the sort of panel thing that comes down there. So that's old Dav, looking rather nice, I think you'll agree. And there's the back of it, a bit of bump about the Emperor and where he came from, and etc. So yes, those are my 3 new Doctor Who things which I've received today. I'm very pleased with them all. My season 25 box set, my William Hartnell TARDIS, and my Emperor Davros, which I picked up last week. Oh, actually, a little addendum to the video. I've noticed, looking at the TARDIS again, it's not been a beautiful job, in fact, because if you look round there, one of the windows is askew. One of the pasted on windows is askew, and I've noticed at the top, you might see there's a little blob of paint, blue paint at the top of the box. So it is a nice figure, but it isn't perfect. And as I said, you can see there the door label is not perfect either. I don't know if I can be bothered sending it back, to be honest. I'm not one of those people that demands absolute perfection, but it isn't perfect. It is a bit dodgy. So yeah, let me know what you think. Would you send it back? I mean, that does bother me. That's a bit annoying. And yeah, the little blob is annoying as well. But I suppose when it's standing there, you're not going to notice. I don't know whether to try and get that off and put it straight. That could end in disaster. So yeah, slightly annoyed that it's not as good as I would like it to be. But can I be bothered to send it back? Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Right, thank you for taking the time to watch this video, assuming that you have, of course. Hope you enjoyed it. It's nice to do some Doctor Who stuff again, and as I said, there's more Who stuff on the way later in the week. If you're new here, you might well be, why not like and subscribe? That would be fantastic. Press that subscribe button, press the like button, leave a comment down below. Have you had your season 25 yet? You get yourself a Hartnell TARDIS. Leave a comment down below, and I'll see you soon. Until I do, keep taking the stuff.